I stayed in a lawsuit for a year longer than I was supposed to over a book that has not even been published yet. It's going to be pitched in September. And I want to talk about it because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand the severity of being able to actually tell your story until you're in a position where you legally cannot tell your story. I truly do pray that anyone who's watching this never has to go through something like that because it is probably one of the worst things to have your voice attacked. I wrote a Substack article and it's right here, and it kind of lays out the land of what was going on during that time and how many people were actually telling me to just settle on silence. And I said, fuck no. There came a point where my lawyer was saying that he was going to charge me 130 grand if I was not willing to settle that day. And my lawsuit was about to be dragged all the way to California when it was originally in Florida. So it was about to be a very expensive disaster. But honestly, I was willing to risk it all because there was no way in hell that I was going to settle on silence. The aftermath of that was also certain jobs wouldn't hire me because I was very public about certain things that happened, or people didn't really want to be associated with me because I was quote unquote a controversial character. Now in 2023, 2024, I don't really remember which year, but I posted this video to a different TikTok account that I have that I don't really use anymore. And that TikTok actually got me like multiple media opportunities that I'm like so grateful for. But that video also got me in a lot of trouble. To just kind of say that I was terrified to post that video and I was terrified to tell my story, and I felt like it was a crazy thing for God to ask of me because I was in a position where I could kind of move away from this like unscathed. Like I didn't have a big platform. I wasn't on socials promoting, this part of my life. And so I felt like I could kind of get away with it. And God was kind of like, no, you need to talk about this. And that calling is still on my heart. And I think this whole entire story has really just taught me that you need to stop listening to what other people tell you to do and what they tell you to say, and be authentic to what God is telling you. At the end of the day, I think there always comes a moment where you kind of have to break away from what everybody else is telling you to do and really trust what God is telling you to do. And sometimes that sounds absolutely insane and it doesn't make sense, but it's not supposed to make sense. And that is what having blind faith is for. It is following in the path without knowing what is actually ahead and trusting what God is saying. And that is what I'm doing. And I am super excited. And yes, I'm pitching my book in September. So I'm very excited because that one is going to be traditionally published. But Beauty and Madness, I wanted to kind of try myself. And then if it ever gets picked up, it gets picked up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Really excited. And I hope you love my article because that's a little snippet of what is coming in the following months.